Hey everyone, so today we are having a very special live with Brianna Ruelas. I'm not totally sure that I said her name correctly. There she is. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out, I'm like so bad at live. Let's see. All right, Brianna, you should be able to send in a request to join. There it is. Let's add. There she is.
Hi!
Hi. Hi. I
Yay! This is
know.
awesome. I
Just
love this.
Doesn't it feel like a long time coming? Like, even though we've not known each other that long, it's been long enough and we've talked enough that it feels like it's already been years in the making.
I know. It's so much fun. Like it's really exciting to get to know you better and to connect and also collaborate and
Yes.
all of these fun things. Like especially just being women in the music industry and not just that, but we have very similar desires to encourage and support independent artists. So, it's just really nice to work together.
Yeah, it's everything. I know. And I was talking to who we both know, Katie Zaccardi, right? Like, we were saying the same thing. We're like, just having another woman in the same industry who gets it is everything, because I could never, ever, ever do this if I didn't have someone or like several someones to talk to about it all the
Yeah.
time.
No, I totally agree. And it's been a huge support to me as well because I've been doing this for a little while and kind of feeling like on an island, like I'm just carving
Yeah.
my own path and creating things that like, aren't that haven't been done yet. So but it doesn't have to be that way. Like that's the most beautiful
Yes.
thing, it's like we can and this goes for any artist as well. It's like when you're on that path, there's always someone who's either on a similar path or well, that's it, they're on a similar path.
Yeah.
So when they're on a similar path, you guys can forge the road together, and it's a whole lot better and more fun when you have friends along.
Oh God, yeah, exactly. It's just lonely otherwise. And you're exactly right about forging your own path. Like sometimes I talk to my fiance about this. I'm like, what I'm doing, what I want to do, which you and I have talked a little bit. I'm like, nobody's really done it. And I think you're kind of in the same place where you're like, either this is a brilliant thing to be doing or it's going to just crash and burn. But like either way, it's not going to be mediocre.
Absolutely. No, that's hilarious. And you're exactly right. But at the end of the day, we always kind of go at it knowing, okay, well, at the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is just support artists. I'm trying to create something unique, and then provide value. So
Yeah.
that's why we're both here. And, that's exactly what we're out to do. So it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So speaking of, we're going to talk today about power plays that you can make as an artist to essentially ensure that 2020 is your best year, that you're not doing the thing where you go, oh yeah, that's a thing I wanted to do a year ago and I'm still in the same spot. But before we do that, before I jump the gun, introduce yourself, because if anyone doesn't know you, they need to, and I can't do it justice. So go brag on yourself.
You're so sweet. You're awesome. Okay, so my name is Brianna Ruelas, and I'm a performing artist consultant. I'm also a singer-songwriter and author to a book called Performing Artist Pathway, which you can find on Amazon. I recently created an online course also called Performing Artist Pathway. And as a consultant, what I do is I take a small business approach to the music industry. I'm a restaurant owner as well. So doing the marketing and operations for my restaurant for the past 5 years have really kind of given me that bootstrapping small business, entrepreneurial background. And I bring all of that. What's up? I bring all of that to the music business. So when I work with artists and consult with artists, it's really taking that small business approach to helping them, own their artist business. And that's really how the online course came about as well. I have 3 girls, so I'm a mom of 3, and they're amazing. They're everything for me. And ultimately, I take everything that I love as far as being a mother, as far as being a business owner and a artist, and I kind of wrap it up in a big old happy like taco salad. I don't know. Yeah, so that's me in a nutshell. I live in Dallas and I am passionate about supporting artists. So that's why I'm here today, and that's why we created this training for you. So
Yes. And I love that you bring the restaurant experience. Like, I just love that you have experience outside of the music industry as well, because that's so important. Like, and you're an artist, like you have everything working for you. You can understand the artist's perspective, but you can also go, okay, look, I know what works like in the business world, even outside of this, and then the business for your own stuff. I feel like you're pulling from so many areas of expertise that a lot of us just don't have or don't even know that we need. And you're just like, bam, here it is. And since, like you said, packaged nicely. All right. So first one, let's just dive into it. Like, just what is this first basically power play that artists can do?
Absolutely. So, the whole point is we want to be somewhere different a year from now than we are today, right? So
I hope so.
We just don't want to be stagnant. We want to keep moving. And so I think that the first power play that you can make to make sure that you're creating some momentum for yourself and moving forward is to become a networking boss.
Yes.
So power play number 1, become a networking boss. And look, here's the thing. You can align yourself with artists and music industry professionals, experts, etc. But you need to have a very strong understanding of what you bring to the table as well. So when you're networking, you're not just going out and shaking hands and telling them all about yourself, but you're also understanding how you can bring value to the relationship. And I think that's the key in networking is understanding that, like, it's a two-way street. It's not all take and no give. So, be mindful of that and really be very clear on how you can communicate what you can bring to the table. Katie, I'm so glad you love that. I knew you would. So understanding, adding value to the relationship. Don't just like jump in and start asking for favors before you know them. And again, the word is relationship and networking. So actually create a relationship. Take the time to do that. Take the time to get to know people. And then the other thing I'll say about becoming a networking boss is, like, think outside of your industry. For me, I'm in the restaurant industry. I'm also in the music industry. But do you know how many times I'm able to book artists at my restaurant to promote them at my restaurant? Do you know how many times clients come into my restaurant, like, who are regulars, who are like, hey, Brianna, I really need an artist for a private party at my house, or I have a private corporate event coming up and I need a band, or whatever that is. Like, just because they're not in the music industry, like, doesn't mean that you shouldn't be networking with them. So do not underestimate the value of networking outside of the music industry. So that's sort of my challenge to you, is to think differently and out of the box when it comes to networking, understanding that you can network with artists, you can support artists, you can support industry people in music, and then you can also network outside of your industry. Think about that, social media butterfly down the street who's always, hosting house parties. Like, get to know her. Maybe she needs, live music for one of her house parties one day. Or, like I said, the CEO, in your complex, or whatever it might be. Like, these people have opportunities that they need music for. So just keep that in mind. So, what you can do, like, right now, as far as this first power play, would be to commit, like, right now, the first 2 people that come to mind, that you need to network with, like, write it down, take a quick note, and then make a point, like, carve out time every single week. Like, think of one person or one area that you can create a networking opportunity for yourself, every week, and like, commit to that. We're talking about not being in the same place a year from now. You have to change your habits, and becoming a networking boss is one way you can do that.
There's so much. There's so many points in there. I was like, there's more. And I will be here all day if I do that. But I love what you said about going outside the industry. And like Tim is right. You never know, how somebody can impact your life. And it's like, oh man, it's even what you said about finding 1 or 2 people every week. I don't know if you know Suze Polinsky, but like, she does the rock. Right. So I remember, like, I love her. Yeah, me too. And the edition I have of her Rockstar Planner, which I think is this past year's, there's this part where it's like, who are 5 people you can network with this week, right? Like 5, depending on your schedule, that might be ambitious, but that goal of like 1 to 2 people every week, just going, okay, this is a relationship I want to build, or this is an industry I want to, like, maybe I want to play weddings or corporate events or whatever, like, this is an industry I want to break into, and just having that one little goal every week, it can make such a massive difference. Like, I feel like people think we're exaggerating when we say relationships are everything, but they actually are everything. So.
Absolutely. They're everything. And look, and I don't want to discourage artists, but when I get blasted with emails at my restaurant address, like, from random artists, that it's just like a form email that they're just email auto blasting. It's not even personalized. I just press delete. If I don't know them and it's not personal, Like I don't book them and I don't even look at it. Like, so you should know that because it's really important that you personalize things and that you make it like, come see my restaurant, like come have lunch, come check it out. You don't even know what the space looks like. How do you know that it will be the right fit for you? You know, so, you know, things like that, like you need to get real. So, you know, when you make that one, you know, commitment every week to network, it's not just, it doesn't have to be just a person. It could even be like an event. Like I'm going to go to this show. I'm going to support this artist, or I'm going to go check out this, whatever. Yeah.
Right.
So,
The personal thing is huge. I mean, you can't expect anybody to care about you or want to help you when you haven't done the same for them. Like it has to be that mutual relationship. So that's an excellent place to start. Okay, what is number 2?
okay, so the power play number 2 is going to be to level up your business knowledge. You know, ultimately, it's wonderful that we want to create music, that we want to get into studio, that we want to do all these lovely things, we want to perform more. But if we don't really hone in on our, you know, businesses and understanding how to like look at ourselves as an artist business, we're not going to be able to market our message. Our branding is going to be off. Like I said, our messaging is going to be off, all of these different things. So, you know, here's an example. You can either take a course, you can take a master class, you can attend an educational conference, like a music conference or a music festival that has like those panels or educational components. You can hire a coach, you can hire a consultant. There's all of these different ways that you can level up when it comes to understanding that you are an artist business and that you need help and you need support. Yes, there are a gazillion also on the web, the World Wide Web, there's a gazillion different resources there. But my one warning there is that when you are scouring the web for all of these resources, sometimes we can, what do we call it, like paralysis or whatever, like
that's where I live. Like I'm always in research fatigue, basically.
There's so much information out there, and sometimes it's hard to discern what is accurate and good information versus not. And it's important that you always, you know, aren't freaking out because there's just so much to know, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's why you need to just start small and go with the people you trust first. And then piece by piece, you know, you can start adding layers. But don't try to like commit to every single podcast or every single masterclass. You know, that becomes a whole beast in itself. But understand that there are resources out there for you to level up your business knowledge. So if we want to talk about, you know, an action step that you can take right now on this second power play, you know, I would say answer this question. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of areas you are struggling with in your music journey? Like the very first thing that pops up, you know, are you in a mad scramble all the time trying to do all your things on your indie to-do list? Or are you really crappy at execution? Perhaps your marketing skills are subpar. Perhaps you're antisocial and hate networking. And maybe you even need to like write better songs. You know, there's some really great resources and like challenges out there. You know, Sarah Spencer from Song Fancy, like she does this really awesome songwriting challenge, which I love. So,
she's amazing.
You know, there's really cool things that you can utilize out there to level up any sort of business knowledge and just growth potential for yourself as an artist.
And it can be fun. Like that's the other point as well. As I think when sometimes artists hear this word like business and they're like whoosh, when they just shut down, right?
I know.
But like it's fun and it can be fun. And I think if you can again look at it as, oh, this is an additional way to connect with fans or to make new friends or find new opportunities, and you can kind of see that long-term game and get back to how it serves the root of why you do that, whether it's because you want to create or you want to connect or you want people to feel less alone. When you can sort of connect the business aspect to how it gets you closer to that goal and sort of makes you be able to focus more on that goal in the long term, I feel like it just opens these doors instead of just being like, oh, it's so boring, blah, blah, blah. Because the fact is you have to do it, right? Like you are not going to have success without doing it. So you have to find a way to make it enjoyable, or at least pay somebody else to do it if you're not going to. But there's like, you have to have that team and that outlook.
Absolutely. And you know, ultimately this is your business. And so if you're in it for the long haul and you want to create something sustainable for you, it's wise for you to know every aspect of your business. I mean, no one's going to run your business or be more passionate about your business than you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can always outsource it, but no one's going to care about your business more than you do.
And they shouldn't.
So
They
yeah,
shouldn't.
yeah. So anyway, I highly encourage people always, even, after I wrote my book with the intention of, reaching other artists and like really helping them understand they're not alone and provide like practical tools for them on their journey. I wanted to figure out how to use it to build my business and leverage my business as well. Well, at the time, even though I had a restaurant, I really didn't know anything about, online business. Yeah. So what did I do? I took an online business course, and I went through it for about 4 or 5 months. It was an amazing course. I learned so much from it. I still go back to it all the time, but I did that because I wanted to learn how to connect with people more. I wanted to learn how to get my message out. I wanted to not be afraid of marketing. So there's all of these ways that I needed to apply it. And I invested in myself. So always invest in yourself. This is your business. This is your career for the long run. And don't think that it doesn't require any time and financial investment. It takes time, energy, and finances and money to create a business and to create something long-term. So that is an investment that you have to make a choice for yourself.
Yeah, 100%. And remember, you can write it off on your taxes, so it's not a loss.
You sure can. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, number 3.
Okay, so number 3 is actually, in my opinion, the most obvious, but it's also the one that gives people, I think, the most like agita and heartache.
Always the case, right? That's always the case.
Yeah. So it's to have a plan, okay? And it's to get hyper clear and very specific on what you want and where you're going. And I always tell people, like, revisit this every 3 to 6 months, because what you wanted 3 months ago or 6 months ago may not be the same for where you're at right now. Things change, we evolve, and sometimes we need to shift trajectory. So, really have a very clear and specific idea of your artist vision and the goals, but also the action steps to get there. Sometimes you're going to need help to do this. There are, like I said, many coaches out there that you can support you on this. And if you don't want to hire a coach, like, get your best friend who's in the music business with you. Grab your artist buddy, sit down, and be accountable to each other. Having that accountability is crucial. And that's one reason why a coach is really fantastic, because they can hold you accountable. But again, someone who's in the industry with you, who's looking to make big moves and create momentum for themselves, they can be accountable with you as well. So really understanding that when you're clear and specific on where you're going, that provides massive momentum, because you're not waking up every day going, oh my God, what's the best next thing for me to do today? Or how am I going to get to this next place? Or just overwhelmed because there are so many things to do as an indie artist, because you are wearing so many hats. When you have a clear plan, you understand, okay, my top 3 priorities for today, and none of this is going to be done overnight. You have to, it's like the long game, you have to think that way. What are the top 3 priorities that I can accomplish today to get me to my weekly goal? Like, at the end of the week, this is what I want to accomplish. What are the top 3 things that I can do every single day, or just let's one day at a time today, so I can get to that goal? And it's just really easy to be distracted. So when we have a plan that's clear and specific, it eliminates that distraction. Is the distraction getting me one step closer to that goal or that plan? If it's not, say no. I mean, it's that easy. It's true. That easy. So a plan allows you really to have the opportunity to have maximum productivity and confidence. A plan minimizes frustration. It minimizes self-doubt. And a plan is a blueprint. It's a blueprint for your business. It's a blueprint for your life, and all your goals. So, there's a lot of benefit from having a plan. Well, so one thing, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I mean, even in my day-to-day, like, I time block everything. So it's like 9 to 10, I'm doing this, 11 to 12, I'm doing this. And it helps me so much, because inevitably when I get distracted by something, as it happens, I can go back and be like, what time is it? Okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, Otherwise, I would waste so much more time, because and you and I, like, I mean, we're very, or at least me, like, I'm very organized. I'm very aware of what's going on usually. But even I am constantly like, I got up to make lunch. I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing anymore. So that accountability, it makes such a big difference, even short term, but especially in the long term.
Well, exactly. And when you time block, as you just said, which I do as well, because it's crucial. Otherwise, I would literally end up on like Facebook for hours, like diving into stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So when you time block your day, you're able to be more productive and efficient, but you also can track your progress.
Yes.
So, you know, you're tracking, did I meet my goal today?
Yeah.
Did I, you know, look, 1, 2, 3. You could just have one goal for the day. Like if you're just like super overwhelmed, then just focus on one thing that you can knock out. And then, like I said, you look at your calendar or you look at how you've time blocked everything, and you'll be able to like put a check, like boom, knocked it out. Yeah. You know, so that enables you to track your progress and also celebrate, you know, pause to be like, you know what? I may think that I'm, you know, completely screwing everything up right now, but I'm going to celebrate because I actually did that one thing. Like, and that might sound ridiculous to you, but I'm telling you, like, if you don't pause to celebrate, you're going to be chasing your tail every single day of your life for the rest of your life. And that's exhausting.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so easy
exhausting
to fall into too, to be like, okay, great. On to the next thing. You know, I think we're all guilty of it, but taking that moment to sit there and be like, okay, I did the thing. Or like even looking back at the end of the week at your whole week and being able to say, you know, I actually did get all these things done. And I also, this is kind of unrelated, but like every day I also have a couple hours right in the morning where I'm working on my own stuff that has like nothing to do with just maintenance, but it's all just growth related. So if that's something that you struggle to be like, oh, I don't mean to hijack your tips here, but I was just gonna like,
no, this actually is a perfect segue. It's perfect.
Yeah. So if there is a time where like every morning for 2 hours, I go, okay, this is where I work my growth stuff. So if you do struggle to be like, when am I supposed to have this time? Figure out a time, whether it's, you know, an hour. I think if you can do it every day, whether it's like an hour when you get home from work or an hour before you go to work, or if it's better for you to be like, okay, all of Saturday I'm doing this, but just have a set day or time every day where you know that this is where I'm working on the stuff that gets me further rather than the maintenance stuff like social media or booking or whatever. I think that, I mean, that's been really, really crucial for me, just because I know, okay, that this is going to happen every day. I'm not going to get off track with it.
That's awesome. I love that you do that. And I think that's also kind of like a self-care mode as well. It's
yeah,
like really
it's a happiness
understanding.
thing.
Yeah, no, it's good. My thing is like, I go for a walk, I go for a jog, I meditate, you know, and when I get into a habit of not doing that, I can feel it personally, physically. Like I know, oh man, I gotta kind of get back into that because I'm a much better consultant. I'm a much better mom. I'm a much better wife, and business owner when I'm taking care of myself first. Yeah. You know, whether that sounds selfish or not, like I can't be like on point and strong for everybody else when I'm not like taking care of myself. Yeah. So,
well, who else is going to do it, right? Like in the way that you really need, it has to be you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And kind of along these lines of like having that plan, right? I always say like the first step should be taking that personal inventory and like really identifying, asking yourself questions. And this exactly, you know, is in line with what we're talking about, is asking yourself those personal questions of, you know, where am I at? What's working? What's not working? And when you do that, you'll be able to identify, oh my gosh, I've been spinning my wheels on this one thing for the past 6 months and it's not getting me anywhere. So instead of like continuing that cycle of doing things that don't work, I'm going to actually like cut that out, push that to the side and move on to the next. But if you don't take the time to take a personal inventory or slow down, you're not going to find those steps. You're not going to identify those things that are holding you back and basically keeping you stagnant, keeping you in that same place. So I dive deeper into this whole topic in my course, but basically a personal inventory, I actually have a free preview of the personal inventory within my course. So if you need a little help or anyone needs a little help on, you know, really asking yourself those specific questions on how you can create a personal inventory of yourself, identifying what's working, what's not, then you can actually watch a free preview, a free video training on this very topic. So you can find that at my website at briannaruelasmusic.com. So that's one thing that I would recommend, you know, if you are, you know, really finding yourself in a place that, you know, you are stuck and you need to know where to start. But again, this falls in line with having a plan. So if we look at the 3 power plays, I'll just, you know, recap them really quick. The first one is to be a networking boss. And again, that goes outside of the music industry. It's networking within the music industry as well as outside, because there's a lot of value there. The second is to level up your biz knowledge, become a growth, take on that growth mindset, also take on that, just that knowledge mindset of finding opportunities to, whether it's, taking a course, attending a free masterclass, hiring a coach, whatever it's going to take to get you to that next step. If you need support, invest in yourself and get the support that you need. Invest in yourself and your business, and your sustainability of your career. And then the last power play, like I said, is the most obvious. It's have a clear and specific plan so you know where you're going, and so you can execute in a way that's efficient and productive. That's not going to take you like 6 months. Create something that's really defined and very hyper specific, so that you can start creating priorities and really checking off those things for yourself.
So speaking of that last part, as far as having a plan, just real quick, tell anyone who's watching, how can they get a free strategy call with you?
Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, so I'm offering free strategy calls right now for the next few weeks. And you can get yours by either going to my profile page on Instagram, and there's a Calendly link there to find a time that works for you. And you can also visit my website at briannaruelasmusic.com, BriannaRuelas music. And there's a Calendly link there. Oh my gosh, why
it's
did they
a weird
name it
name.
Calendly?
I know.
So you can sign up there. Also, that's also where you can access the free preview of that personal inventory, as well as I have a weekly goals crusher easy sheet. I talked about having 3 priorities, establishing your weekly goal, and then 3 priorities a day. I have a free printable where when you go to my website and sign up for the email list, it gets delivered to your inbox. So it's called the weekly goal crusher easy sheet printable. I don't remember what I named it, but it's really just makes it really easy for you to crush your weekly goals. So it's on my website too. Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out. You are amazing. I hope everyone takes you up on this offer, because why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
But yeah, thanks for hanging out. And I guess unless you have anything else to say.
No, absolutely not. I adore you. I loved hanging out with you today, and I hope this was helpful. I know that these are things that, I use on a daily basis. Yeah. Really, I implement these same steps in my own business. So I know that it's relevant. But yeah, definitely. Well, hey, thanks for being on this Techno Tim official. You're awesome. Yeah, hit me up and let's put together a free strategy call, and I'd love to support artists. So thanks again.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Angela.
Thank you.
Bye. Yeah.